Welcome to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Josh Yurden. Thanks very much for joining us today for the news we've been watching for you. President-elect Donald Trump is expanding his pool of candidates for Secretary of State, leaving unclear whether former CIA Director David Petraeus' guilty plea for leaking classified information disqualifies him to serve as the nation's top diplomat. Two people close to the transition told the Associated Press that Trump is moving away from two of the four former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and Mitt Romney, the 2012 Republican presidential nominee. Former ambassador to China and presidential nominee Jon Huntsman has also been discussed as a candidate. Protesters celebrated a major victory in their push to reroute the Dakota Access oil pipeline away from a tribal water source, but pledged to remain camped on federal land in North Dakota anyway, despite Monday's government deadline to leave. Hundreds of people at the encampment cheered after the Army Corps of Engineers refused Sunday to grant the company permission to extend the pipeline beneath the Missouri River Reservoir. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and its supporters argued that extending the project beneath Lake Oahe would threaten the tribe's water source and cultural sites. The segment is the last major sticking point for the four-state, $3.8 billion project. The death toll from a fire that tore through a warehouse hosting a late-night dance party climbed to 36 on Monday as firefighters painstakingly combed through rubble for others believed to still be missing and made the grim announcement that teenagers were among the dead. The building that went up in flames was known as the Ghost Ship, had been carved into artist studios, and was an illegal home for a rotating cast of a dozen or more people. Sources familiar with the location said it was cluttered. Death trap was with few exits, piles of wood, and a mess of snaking electric cords. A wooden box containing Fidel Castro's ashes was placed by his brother and successor on Sunday into the side of a granite boulder that has become Cuba's only official monument to the charismatic bearded rebel who seized control of a U.S.-allied Caribbean island and transformed it into a Western outpost of Soviet-style communism that he ruled with absolute power for nearly a half-century. New York is loosening restrictions in its nearly year-old medical marijuana law, but to the dismay of some pot activists, there is no sign the state is in any hurry to join 8 other states in embracing full legalization. Among the latest to do so are 2 in the Northeast, Massachusetts and Maine, and the huge state of California. Still, Governor Andrew Cuomo remains a skeptic of outright recreational use, and legalization face challenges in the legislature too. New York's medical marijuana law still has some of the strictest rules among the more than 20 states that allow medical pot. Among its requirements, pot products can't be dispensed in smokable form, and that physicians complete a training course to approve the drug for patients. The average price of regular grade gasoline is unchanged nationally over the last 2 weeks, holding steady at $2.20 a gallon. Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg said Sunday that refiners have had little time to react to last week's announcement by major oil-producing countries to slash output. Many retailers yet to see big price increases. Lindbergh says to expect higher prices after OPEC's decision to cut production. She says prices may fall if financial markets don't believe the cuts will stick. Students across Boston plan to walk out of their classrooms Monday afternoon, march into the State House and City Hall with demands that Massachusetts leaders stand up to President-elect Donald Trump. Organizers expect hundreds to join, including students from middle school, high school, and college. Participants will demand that Mayor Martin J. Walsh and Governor Charlie Baker protect public education and make sure everyone can feel safe in Massachusetts. She said many students are alarmed by Trump's rhetoric, his policy proposals, and the people he has hired. Unsettled weather is this week's theme, with the potential for some significant lake effect snow later this week. Here's Alexis with the forecast.
We're in for a noticeable change in our weather pattern beginning late Wednesday that will leave us with some real winter weather. Leading up to that, we're in for some clouds and wet snow mixed with rain for much of our Monday. High temps will be in the low 40s. We could see some peaks of sun for Tuesday, followed by some scattered light rain Tuesday night. Temps will be just above freezing, so we can't rule out a few snowflakes mixed in. Clouds roll in on Wednesday, and by Wednesday night, some much colder air, locked up in Canada right now, makes a shift toward our area beginning Thursday, setting up some lake effect snow. The bands will of course be isolated and could drop several inches. It is too early to know exactly where those bands will set up, but heavier amounts can be expected over the Tug Hill. We finish the week with the chance of snow showers on Friday and Saturday, so we'll keep an eye on the potential for some significant lake effect snow later this week. That's it for the weather. I'm Alexis.
The Buffalo Bills and New York Giants were both losers yesterday. Here's Mr. Charbonneau with sports.
The Buffalo Bills defense had no answers for the Oakland Raiders' David Carr, who threw for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns to rally the Oakland Raiders to their biggest comeback in 16 years with a 38-24 victory over the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. After falling behind 24-9 following touchdowns on the first 2 drives of the second half for Buffalo, the Raiders took the game over with 29 straight points and won their 6th straight to remain 1 game ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs in the tough AFC West. Now the Bills, they fall to 6-6 and take their withering playoff hopes to Pittsburgh next week. Now turnovers and missed offensive opportunities, well, that defined the New York Giants on Sunday as they dropped their highly anticipated matchup with those same Steelers 24-13. Giants quarterback Eli Manning was thoroughly outplayed by Steelers' Ben Roethlisberger. Manning threw 3 interceptions, and the Giants remain now in the playoff hunt, but they take on the division-leading Cowboys next Sunday night. In college football, the top-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban are attempting to win an unprecedented 5th national title in 8 seasons, including back-to-back for just the 2nd time. And they add what can already be considered the greatest run in the history of college football. They're in the Peach Bowl, the semifinal between Alabama and number 4 Washington. It will also be the first meeting between Saban and Washington head coach Chris Peterson, who has an .826 winning percentage since he was first hired as the head coach at Boise State in 2006. Now, Peterson's Boise State teams were known for upsets. Alabama is a 2-touchdown favorite. Now, in the Fiesta Bowl, that semifinal is between number 2 Clemson and number 3 Ohio State, and that's a rematch of the 2014 Orange Bowl, which was won by Clemson 40-35. Don't forget, both games are on New Year's Eve. Locally now, Mexico Boys Hoop tips off its season tomorrow night when it hosts Salve. Now, the team features a senior-laden group led by Dylan DeLong, Zach Lawler, and Dakota Deasy, all of whom returned from last year's starting lineup. Now, the game tips off around 7:15. Meanwhile, the Lady Tigers, they hit the Marcellus Tuesday night. And tonight, finally, the Syracuse Orange will renew an old rivalry when it takes on UConn at Madison Square Garden. The Huskies come in at 3-4, while Syracuse is 5-2. The game's on at ESPN2. Tip time is 7 o'clock. That's a quick look at our sports. I'm Michael.
A representative from Jostens will be taking class ring orders Monday and Tuesday, December 5th and 6th from 10 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. outside of the cafeteria. A $50 deposit is required to place your order. That same rep will be here taking orders from seniors regarding cap and gowns. Operation Reindeer will take place on Thursday, December 8th, beginning at 2:45 at the Presbyterian Church. Any students or clubs who would like to volunteer should contact Ms. Harder. The winter concert is scheduled for Tuesday, and the chorus takes the stage on Wednesday. Both concerts will be at the middle school and beginning at 7. That's it for us today. We're back here on Tuesday. For the staff on Eye of the Tigers News, we hope you have a great day. I'm Josh.